Good morning, everyone. It's your boy Raven, and guess what? First live stream of the new year. Happy to be here. I have absolutely no idea where anyone is right now. I did let our special guest know. I sent the link, and I did invite our special guest on. There was agreement to join. I told them I would go ahead and have a link ready for them. Unfortunately, nobody. Yes, Reverend Doctor. Uh, I suppose this does need a little bit of an explanation. Uh, I really didn't think anyone would notice, and so far no one has. But I do hold a doctorate from Universal Life Ministries. I'm also an ordained minister with them. So yes, Reverend Doctor Raven Wolfgard. Bang, done. The certificates are up on my wall, and yep, got myself ordained. This is something I did kind of mention a time or two. I don't know if you're not tuning in for the tarot and or the oracular readings, then this could be news to you. Yeah, yep. I don't have my wallet with me, so normally I just flash the card that I have that I carry around, but nope. Yeah, that's a thing. I got ordained back in September, and it's something I have been working on for quite a while. I kind of stopped working on it and ended up kind of seeing some stuff going on, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get back to work on that. So I went ahead, worked on it, got it, and yep. Now I'm kind of looking for work in the chaplain area. Thank you. Uh, the topic of my thesis, dude. I have a ton of them. I have a ton of them. But here's the thing. When it comes to my ministry, I'm not particular. You know, I'm going to be that guy that's kind of just there in the clutch, right? So if your faith has nothing to do with mine, it doesn't matter. And so basically, the thesis or the topic of my thesis was sort of an all roads lead to Rome kind of a deal, where since we were just kind of like little pockets of tribes, wandering nomads, that sort of thing, before we actually settled down, every one of us had a different kind of picture of the divine in our heads, and we are the actual thesis was we are finite beings attempting to understand the infinite. That's really it. So there we go. That's really all it comes down to at the end of the day. We're finite beings trying to understand the infinite. Unfortunately, some people just don't fucking get that, and it's not really my problem. Uh, it is. It's a good topic. It was a fun topic to explore too. So just that sort of thing. So yes, Reverend Doctor Raven Wolfgar. And I hope that your holidays went well. I know mine did. One of the things that I came across, and I want to show you this because let me just pull this up real quick. I'm sure some of you have been paying attention to my mail calls, which have been still going on. Probably not as often as they used to, but still going on. And this is one of the things I wanted to point out. Overmind by John Delarose. This is one of the most fun reads I have ever been part of. Happy New Year to you too. Glad that your holidays have gone well. Overmind is one of the most fun sci-fi reads I've been privy to in a while. And this is one recommended by John Delarose himself. John Delarose, also a YouTuber, runs a site called Fandom Pulse. Immediately upon finding out there was a trading card involved, I ran and grabbed one of these. Shoot, it's like skitzing out, but you get it. It's a card case. I put that in there, and strong magnet, and I just kind of stuck it right up here. Also came with a bookmark. Here was the really cool part, though, and I noticed this upon opening it. John Delarose does autograph all of his comics. And if you purchase this comic, you'll also get yours autographed. Now, I don't know if it'll come with the trading card and the bookmark. It very well may. I would not put it past them to do that. And that would be actually kind of nice to do. But this is my overview of Overmind, which was an excellent comic. And Ayla Wren made an excellent protagonist. She is definitely not, what was her name? Ray Palpatine. Definitely not her. Not at all. So if you're into strong female characters who actually do the job, who have those moments of vulnerability, those relatable characters, yeah, this is your girl right here. And she is an absolute badass. She's an absolute unit, but she has moments of vulnerability. She's not a Mary Sue. Not at all. Not at all. Also, Alpha Core #1 came in. I got 2 copies of it. One in foil, one... actually, both covers are limited run covers. But cover A was the one I read. Cover C was the one I just put away. Definitely recommend that. That was a fun read as well. I know it's probably going to piss some people off. In fact, I saw the viewer count just drop by 1. I'm okay with that. Hey, look, if the I don't know who this woman is, but I did see this on Twitter where there's this woman and she says her entire purpose for writing the next round of Star Wars was to make men uncomfortable, and I'm like, okay. I'm not going to watch, but okay. You know, I've lost interest. However, I'm going to say that I've lost interest, and then I'm going to be drinking from a Mandalorian mug here. I got for like less than $6. It was on clearance. It was awesome. And I will say this: I've got that and a Darth Vader mug. I got a Yoda mug for a friend. I really wanted the Yoda mug, but she wanted it, so I was like, okay. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for her. What does that even mean? What, making men uncomfortable? I don't know. And honestly, I don't care. I just don't give a shit, to be honest with you. There was something else that happened, which I'm not going to bring it up here, but I'm going to just talk about it. Hasbro this year has laid off almost 2,000 people. You know what? I lost interest at The Last Jedi. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even care to look at Rise of Skywalker. I was like, the Skywalkers are dead, dude. They're gone. But anyway, Hasbro laid off 1,000 people this over 1,000 people, almost 2,000 this year. They laid something like was it like 800 people off at the beginning of the year, and then 2 weeks before Christmas laid off 1,100 of their employees. It gets worse. As I understand it, and I may be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'll retract the statement. The CEO, Chris Cox, apropos name there, quadrupled his bonus, I think, last year. Magic the Gathering and D&D were apparently making money, and they still gutted those creative teams. So I'm going to say this. I know for a fact you don't gut your teams unless the projects have already been finalized and done. I do not expect that their 6th edition or their digital platform will survive this. I just don't. I really don't. found out a lot of D&D and Hasbro toys and stuff like that were at Ollie's. I actually picked up an extra Warriors of Krynn board game for myself, just to keep one, mint. And I got one for my nephew's kid as a birthday gift. So his birthday is actually on Christmas, so kind of served dual purposes. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Yeah, really earned that bonus. Yeah, I don't know whether it was. I will retract the statement if I'm wrong, because I'm not entirely sure if it was the year before he quadrupled his bonus or this year, and I think it was this year. I could be wrong. People, if you want to play D&D, I got a nice little alternative for you. Works a little better in my opinion. And any old school set of rules that you want. Oh shit. Bring it back maybe? I don't know. There we go. You know what? Let me just pull up the fucking PDF because I have it. And it's been 12 minutes. I'm pretty sure YouTube's not going to say, "Oh, you said a bad word." I really don't give a fuck. Here we go. We'll just pull up the PDF. I'll give you a couple. I think this year. Okay. If it was this year, then yeah, I'm right. I'm right on the money. But a few D&D alternatives, I think. If either if you have some old school rule sets, that's fine. I do recommend the Wretched Bastards, especially if you don't like the alignment system. Wretched Bastards will do you. I think Wretched Bastards is a lot of fun, honestly. There we go. All right, but here we go, right here. Boom. I'll just bring that up real quick. Here's another one that I'll happily share because I think more people need to know about this one. Do a screen share real quick. Share that screen. Window. Bang. Here we go. Wasted Lands, The Dreaming Age. And Wasted Lands is like 2 books. There's this one, which is the rules, and there's a Gazetteer, which has the setting and everything in it. Night Shift, Veterans of the Supernatural Wars, and The Night Companion are another 2 books by the same company, Elflayer Games. We've had Jason on the show before. We're going to have him on again because 13 Parsecs is coming this May. And 13 Parsecs will be the sci-fi game that he is currently producing. But one of the ideas that I put out there, which Jason thought was kind of brilliant, in Night Companion, there's an immortal class. And what you can do is you could play Wasted Lands, and provided your character survives the campaign, you could take that character, turn it into an immortal, because in this game, your character essentially becomes a god. Like all the gods of our various myths and legends, the very thesis that I put out there, your character becomes one of these mythological gods. In Night Shift, they could just be an immortal with all this mythos surrounding them, and you could be part of that. Like if you're doing investigative type role play. That character of yours could then just go on to ruin mythology. Like, wait, what? No, I was there. This never happened. And there we go. Oh, it was 2023. Yep. This was this past year. Yeah. Yes, that the artwork is super cool. Let me show you the other one. I think you'll like that one. This is going to be the campaign guide and Gazetteer, and oh my goodness, what happened? I have to kind of move things over a little bit. And yes, you could even do Eldritch Horror with a game like this. Let me see if I'm right on here. Bang, there it is. Yeah, Jason did write sort of a unisystem. That was for Troll Lord Games, which I was going to get to next. Castles and Crusades is another D&D alternative. I am more into Castles and Crusades than I am into D&D. I have several different editions of D&D. I'm a Castles and Crusades guy for the most part, but he wrote Amazing Adventures. He's also doing work on some other stuff for Troll Lord Games, as he is a staff writer for them. So that's very cool. And old school vibes like crazy looks cool. Yes, it is. It's very cool. And here's the thing about the ogre system. The ogre system will work with whatever old school rule system you want to plug in. It's literally plug and play, and it works. So if you're like me and you're kind of that Beck me or basic and expert kind of guy, you can do that. Especially if you have problems with your old school group, you want to do something different, and they're like, yeah, I don't want to learn another system. I'd love to do like Vampire the Masquerade, or I'd love to do Hunter the Reckoning, but I really don't want to learn a new system. Good news, you don't have to. And Night Shift Veterans of the Supernatural Wars will actually do like basic and expert and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, I am going to find that game and bring it up. Must be under Elf Lair Games. Oh. As a matter of fact, I'll just search for it. Cut my time in half here. There it is. So we're going to go Veterans of the Supernatural Wars. We'll just bring up the updated version and go back to page 1. I was actually looking at this and didn't reset myself here. There it is. And this one does gothic horror, it does urban horror, all kinds of other cool stuff. Love this kind of thing. This is just, I'll be honest with you, I really got this because it does a myriad of things. And when we had Jason and Tim on the program, they mentioned they wanted to do a system initially inspired by Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which you can do. And then they thought about it and they said, well, why don't we do a system where you can do Buffy, or you can do Supernatural, or Highlander, or The Prophecy, or just whatever dark urban horror you could conjure up. Yeah, and it does. It keeps the audience really large. I think Amazing Adventures, I have both editions. I have the regular Amazing Adventures, which uses the Siege Engine system for Castles and Crusades. I also have the one for 5th edition. So, I did get Troll Lord Games 5th edition books because if I run into a group and they're so used to 5e, it's a good way to kind of slowly bring them into the Siege Engine. And they'll probably never even know it. They'll never even recognize the switch there. So, good thing. Also, if you're watching us on Twitter, we can take your comments now. So as long as you have our window open, you can comment. It will come in. And sometimes we get stuck in the things we like and are comfortable with. That's absolutely true. But if you looked at my library, you'll know that while I've always been comfortable with D&D, AD&D 2nd edition, because it's where I started, or AD&D 3 or D&D 3.5, because it's kind of where I ended. I'm willing to play just about anything. And I'm playing Horde Wars right now, which you can get for like $5. And that's just PDF right now. Blackwall does have some he does have some print copies available. I have not gotten one yet. Money's been a little bit tight, but I'll bring that up real quick. So this is working on it. Apparently it's looking for it too. As a matter of fact, I know exactly where a copy of it is because I do have it. thought I did. There it is. Okay, we'll bring that up too. Horde Wars Basic. Here we go. And believe it or not, this art done by John the Basic Expert. It's not surprising because his artwork is usually seriously boss, and here is no exception. We've got other bits of artwork in there too. I'll show you some of it. I'll just find some. I really love this picture. I don't know who did this one, but it's amazing. I was like, yeah, check it out. Me on a Monday. And that's me on a Friday after getting the munchies. So there we go. All right, we got these things. You got all kinds of really cool stuff. Character creation is very simple and easy. You got dwarves, you got elves, halflings, playable orcs, if you're into that. And right now I'm playing a Viking Skald after my last one died very horribly. And no one could save him because they used his remaining healing potion towards someone else. I was like, thanks, guys. So, definitely badass. Need to get on one of these shows one of these. Dude, yeah, totally. Absolutely. Because I'll tell you something right now. I do have Pathfinder First Edition. I checked it out. Pretty cool. But I'm going to say this. I love the stuff this guy does. If you haven't checked out some of the photos he's posted of his terrain and minis on Twitter, this dude took Pathfinder and turned it into Hellraiser. It was amazing. Yeah, me on a Monday. Me on a Monday, no tea. You have interrupted my sleep. What do you want? I started packing a thermos full of tea with me to work. I started packing that. I was like, had a bad case of laryngitis and no voice, and started packing tea with me. Haven't stopped, except when I work evenings, I really don't. But when I'm working mornings, yeah, I got to get up early enough to prime that thermos and make my tea. So let's see. I like old school Dragon Warriors because they are human players only. Elves, dwarves, goblins, blah, or fae. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I've never ever played a game where it was just all humans. And I know, I think it's Talislanta, which is available for free. They just love, no elves. I don't know. I don't get it. I really don't get that kind of mentality, really. But whatever, Good morning, Redshift. Good to have you aboard. And I'm going to shut this down. By the way, if you do get Horde Wars, $5, and you let us know, you will get an invite to the Gilded server, and you'll be able to play in these games with us. I'm going to be in a game next week, and hopefully, if our special guest ever arrives, that person will be joining us again after a bit of a hiatus there due to real life rudely interrupting. But anyway, getting back to Wizards of the Coast, I do recommend Horde Wars, Castles and Crusades, Old School Essentials, Swords and Wizardry, Shadow Dark, Wasted Lands, so on and so forth as alternatives. By the way, Shadow Dark is in. I'm pretty sure I showed this picture. I'll show it again, though. Let's see, because I know I posted it, and there it is. So now I can go and share this. And there's an interesting story to go behind, to go with this. Yep, that's everything that arrived for me. It literally came the day after Christmas. I just noticed that I'm a little out of sync here. But anyway, day after Christmas, this arrived, and I've had so much fun peeking into it. I've already gone through the book. I did that in PDF. And as a matter of fact, I'll shut this down. It's a very nice haul. There is so much material here. And all that material is just absolutely amazing. I was not expecting it all to be a digest size. I mean, this book is pretty thick, but it was digest size. I was like, wait, what? Oh, hello. So I was happy with that because I could put it up here on my desk couch instead of trying to find space somewhere else. And boy, I was super happy about that. There we go. All right. Let's see if I can find Shadow Dark. There it is. And we're going to go with Premium Shadow Dark. And we've actually covered this before. And because I don't have anyone vamping with me, I will just share screens. It's taking me a little bit. I'm sorry, y'all. Here we go. And yeah, that's what my cover looks like. Although my cover is, it's definitely black. And you can look here. But it is a very simple design. It has so much to it that it looks like it's going to be complicated. But this is another D&D alternative, which still, this one came hot on the heels of the OGL, which $1.3 million. Congratulations, Kelsey. I raise my cup of tea to you. The GM screen is very nice. When, like, I didn't even get a tracking number. I didn't know it was coming, but I did see people getting theirs Christmas Eve around that time, and I thought, well, perhaps mine will get here. And I came home after work, find it didn't arrive. I was away for Christmas, and then the very next day I'm having to go to work, and it arrived. I didn't have time to do the picture or anything, but yeah, 332 pages. And then I had those 3 Cursed Scroll zines. She's working on a 4th. I'm going to be a subscriber. That's just going to happen because those Cursed Scroll zines are amazing. It's packed full of just more stuff that you could plug and play right into this game. And I'm going to warn you, this game, when it says Shadow Dark, they are not fucking around. This one's dark as hell. So let's see. Reminds me of Cannibal Corpse art. Yes. I will say this much though. This one is like the dark, spooky art that you would see like in a more of an 80s metal, like an 80s hardcore metal kind of thing. If you're looking for like 90s death metal, I would go more for Lamentations of the Flame Princess, and I'll show you exactly why. Because I had to see it. Now, it's going to be your problem, and you're going to share this with friends because there's no way in shit I'm suffering alone. Let's see, here we go. Lamentations of the Flame Princess. I got a ton of books from them. And let me see. I just want to find one that will... you know what? There's a really simple one. If you want the kind of artwork that you can't unsee, here you go. Now that looks like something that would come out of a Cannibal Corpse album. Yeah. Yeesh. Not a bad thing. Well, keep in mind there are things I'm not showing you, and if I show you these things, I will get booted off YouTube. Like seriously, we showed one image from Chalt. One image. And I don't know if it got, I think it got banned, not on YouTube, but on CloudHub. Cloud Hub did not want this image shown. And I'm looking at it going, I cut that part out and I was like, who looks at that and goes, yeah, gotta have that. Yeah, it's, yeah. Vicious, hell yeah, absolutely. Don't do that. Oh yeah, don't piss off those gods, huh? Deary me, yeah. Oh yeah, it does get worse. I refuse for YouTube to have another reason to yell at my channel. Yeah. And here's the thing: I'm not monetized, so I don't give a shit. Fuck them. Fuck their, fuck their rules too. The problem is they will absolutely limit, what you get shown from me if I do. And I'm like, God damn. I would actually stream to Rumble if they made it a little simpler. I just don't have a lot of time to sit there and try to figure all this out. I got a ton of shit to do, and yeah, whoever got here first just got here best, unfortunately. English breakfast. I love when that stuff hits. It's just, Cal, what's going on? Yeah, you came in on the wrong end of this conversation. But Lamentations of the Flame Princess, it's also a good D&D alternative. However, the setting, see, it's not so much in the book. Patty, what's going on? Good to see you too, another fellow Rumbler. It is kind of buggy. And of course, everybody, welcome aboard. Lamentations of the Flame Princess, I'll just bring up its core book. And where is my core book? I know I have one. Full version, here we go. Okay, so here we go. Believe it or not, there's nothing in the core book, which is this, that is objectionable. Nothing. There's some artwork in here that could be a little on the wild side. Okay, there's that, and we're probably going to get censored for that. I don't care. Fuck them. Let's see. And we got some stuff like this. Yeah, here you go. Here you go. Some of the artwork gets a little bit on the brutal side. It's no big deal. I didn't see okay, so we got scanner style heads exploding. That's pretty cool. Oh, we got this guy about to Indiana Jones that idol. And he's sweating. Oh, we got a man down. We're gonna need bigger pole arms or something. Oh yeah, there we go. Triumphant dwarf. Swords broken, shields battered. He still won. He's still alive. A field full of dead. Here we got sort of these Puritan types getting ready, gearing up. And that's why I'm saying the setting is like when I saw this book and I read it for the first time, it kind of confused me because I wasn't really sure what it was I was looking at. Turns out the setting is more like 17th century. So it's like 1600s. You got these like ships like this. You got towns like little towns like this. And this is more like Puritan type days. You still got sprawling kingdoms and things like that. Property and finance. It's a very granular game, but not big on rules. It's very rules light. And did I mention I hate eye stuff? Because I do. I did mention that in the interview with him. I was like, yeah, I am not a fan of that. Oh God, that's brutal. And then you got artwork like this. So here you got this musketeer looking gal who was like, she just brutalized it. Wow. Yep. So yeah, the artwork can get a little graphic in this one, but again, not much that's objectionable. I do love this game. I think it's great. That's why we had James on the show, and it was a very cool one. Cleric from the Dark Ages. Yeah. Okay. Afternoon, mate. And let me tell you, this particular book is. Let me find it again here. How many pages? 176 pages. It's not a big book. As a matter of fact, I got it up here on the shelf as well. Still clubbing that one guy's face. Still clubbing seals. I'll tell you the joke while I reach for this book. Two baby seals walk into a club. There you go. That is how thick this book is. That's it. Not big at all. And I picked this one up on Amazon pretty inexpensively. As a matter of fact, the Book of Antitheses was bigger than this. That one that I showed you with the girl's teeth kind of, that comes from 6x6x6, the Mayhemic Missile Method, which is, it's literally a book of variant magic missile spells. That's it. It is a thin but dense volume. Yes, it's very dense, but it was an easy read. Like, I got through it in one night. It was so easy to read, so good. I do recommend Old School Essentials as well. Old School Essentials has so much you can do with it. As a matter of fact, Dark Places and Demogorgons is a good modern version of D&D. It's D&D kind of set in the modern day here in the real world. Stranger Things, if you will. But there's a version for Old School Essentials that you can get. And if you're into Old School Essentials, I do recommend that one. If you don't have Old School Essentials, well, then just, pick up Dark Places and Demogorgons, the Survive This version. That's a good one. Osric, Basic Fantasy, Swords and Wizardry, I mentioned that one. The Wretched Verse, White Box F Mag, Delving Deeper. A lot of those are just basic fantasy. They're all free. Those are all free, including Castles and Crusades. You can pick up Castles and Crusades absolutely free. I do recommend any of those. I don't really recommend Pathfinder. I know that they've recently gone through another revision of second edition and finally split the books. Good for them. But after the way some of their staff kind of talked to me online, I'm like, yeah, I don't really care for your attitude. And, is what it is. Hey, don't talk down to your potential customers, and you don't talk down to your customers, and you won't lose them. By the way, all the Pathfinder books I have, only one of them I bought brand new. That was the pocket edition of first edition. The rest I bought on eBay, so I got them secondhand. So Paizo did not get that much money out of me. By the way, word to Paizo, you need to hire Luke Hart to speak for you. Because if Luke had gotten to me before the rest of your staff did, I probably would have picked up second edition. Not gonna lie. The good thing about Troll Lord, they just talk about their game. Let's see. It's like, yeah. The core rule book with no art is in fact free. You can get that on Drive Through RPG if you want to sort of just preview it and try before you buy. But I do recommend it. I recommend it, especially if you like that sort of like, I want to say, think Hammer Horror if Chris Barnes from the 90s was directing it or George Fisher were directing it. That's kind of how I would put it. It's all the stuff Mork Borg wants to be. Mork Borg really wanted to be Shadow Dark and Lamentations, but missed it by that much. Let's see. Luke probably makes more money on his own. True. Probably. I'll give him that. True. However, I just think Luke would make a better spokesperson than half their staff. So I think Luke Hart I can kind of take in small doses from time to time. He's a little animated for my taste, but largely I agree with a bunch of what he puts out there. He does really good work. So I don't discount him. He's a little too, out there for me. And especially early in the morning, I'm like, whoa, Luke, dial it back a little bit. But I get it. He's passionate, man. And if that's what works for him and his channel, man, go for it. I haven't really bought any of his work, and I probably should. I should probably check it out. But these days, I'm kind of steering away from fifth edition stuff. I've got enough of it. If I wanted to run fifth edition games, I could run them for years and decades even, and probably never play all the books that I have. Fifth edition on its own is a decent system, but honestly, there just are better out there. And like I said, Castles and Crusades, Wasted Lands, The Wretched Verse, Swords and Wizardry, so on and so forth. Those are all, systems I love to one degree or another. No system is perfect. Let's put it that way. Delving Deeper is probably the most faithful adaptation of original D&D, in my opinion. I got enough fifth edition. Nothing. Zero. Zip. Yeah, at first I was not going to get into fifth edition. I really wasn't. I was like, nope, not for me. I did read the 3 core rule books. My favorite of them always going to be the monster manual. Out of every system, the monster part, especially if you do the all-in-one core volume, the part that's the bestiary is always going to be my favorite because there's so many interesting things in there, and they always spark imagination, especially with second edition. Second edition was the best monster manual because it also factored in ecology. So you weren't going to put an owlbear on a beach, if that makes sense. You would basically be putting an owlbear where it belongs, and then you can kind of think of a setting around that. If you had some kind of weird monster that had like a mountainous region, you could actually build a cult around that monster and villages around those areas and have them, you could start with a treasure hunt, just something very simple. And then over time, just kind of build it up till you have this massive, fight, cult of a dragon or whatever. I never did. Let me put it to you this way. The last Wizards of the Coast book I bought from Wizards of the Coast was Dragonlance. The last Wizards of the Coast item that I bought were the 2 board games from Ollie's. And the last Wizards of the Coast book that I bought was from Greg, who wrote Chronicles of Iris and for 5th edition. He's also retooling it for Castles and Crusades. Damn right, I'm going to buy it again. And he also is currently working on Titans of the Fallen Earth, which is going to be a kaiju game. I bought Curse of Strahd from him. I do have 1st edition in reprint. That's the print on demand. Honestly, if I could get those books, if I could get those books in really good condition, like the originals, I would buy them. Unfortunately, right now, like I'm trying to get the 2nd edition books that I lost on the way here, trying to get those because I still love 2nd edition. Don't know what it is. I just love it. It's the one I started out with. Maybe it's just nostalgia for me. I don't know. Let's see. All I got is playing a 5e game. I've not bought anything from Mossy since. Okay. Yeah. It makes sense. I would have loved to have gotten my hands on some of the campaign cases. Not going to lie. Unfortunately, those things like sold out before I could get to Ollie's. So they didn't have any. They did have D&D figures from the cartoon series, which are coming in like these. They're all boxed up. There's no plastic window for you to see them. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to buy those sight unseen. I don't care if they're only $10. 2E was my first, yeah. I got started with, I think I talked about this before. Hero Quest. We combined after we ran out of adventures, we made our own with GURPS. I don't know what edition that was back in the 90s. It was just a big, massive ass book, and it took us time to actually start figuring it out because we were unguided, man. It was just us, and I was the asshole running those games, so I had to figure it out. And we made up our own adventures just using that game board over and over and over again. And then the same friend who brought us GURPS brought us AD&D First Quest, and we picked up from there. I would later get my own version of that same box set, but it was branded differently. This one, instead of having the First Quest artwork and the logo and the title, this was called Introduction to AD&D Second Edition, and it had this big, had this little knight, probably about like that big on the cover, and this big red dragon just staring him down, ready to, throw fire on him. I too was old enough for Beck Me. It got advertised in a lot of my comic books, same as you. I was forbidden from ever owning any of it. So, and no Ollies around here. Closest was Texas. I actually asked a few people if they would check their local Ollies to see if they had them. I just wanted 2 of each of the campaign cases, the terrain and the other one. And I was like, tell me how much it will cost for both plus shipping, and I'll Zelle it to you. I'll PayPal it to you. I don't really care whichever one you want. And unfortunately, everyone's sold out. So, and we're still being mean mugged by this girl here. So, but that's what happened there. But yeah, comic books. I do remember the Dwarven Kingdoms of Krynn. I remember Al-Qadim. I remember Ravenloft. All these advertisements for various games. I didn't even see Birthright. Like, I never saw Birthright. I didn't know Birthright was a thing until probably about maybe a couple of years ago. I don't know. And someone basically told me it was D&D Highlander, and I was like, okay, cool. I got to check it out. I still have yet to see that. Yeah, they were about like $3. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, I'll take 2 of each. I think that would be enough. And those campaign cases, I wanted those just because they would be easy to transport. That way, I wouldn't have to buy anything else. Those were easy to transport. Those I could do. I'm still kind of like putting my mobile bag together, which would have my tablet, because I would carry my books on a tablet. That way, I don't have to carry, like, if I can have more than one book in my messenger bag, because I tend to walk. Most places are within walking distance from me. I really don't feel like loading. I've seen people with their mobile DM setups, and they have like totes full of shit, and I'm like, God damn, dude, you have to do a lot of setup, don't you? I do like that. It's fine. One of the reasons I got Shadow Dark, I actually found Kelsey Dion's channel, Arcane Library, and she mentioned the flat plastic Arc Knight standees. I was like, oh, that's a good idea. And she had a business card case just full of them. I took her cue there. That way, if we want to play with some minis, we do have some minis. That's a good option. I also have some tokens that I could use. They're wooden. I really would like to get the plastic ones, though. Yeah. Yeah, I've even got like I do have a dry erase battle mat. My problem is dry erase markers tend to dry out on me. That's the only problem. But I do have dungeon tiles that I personally made. I want to make some more that are rounded, some more that are curved. I'm not very good with this kind of thing. I made just straight stuff. So eventually I would like to make some circular tiles and all that kind of other good stuff, and maybe box all that up together. So, then again, I mean, there is always just theater of the mind. I could just do that. It works. But I know one thing, eventually I'm going to be back down south. I'm going to be running games for my niece and her friends. And her friends are into a lot of different genres. So we got some who like sci-fi, horror, medieval fantasy, you name it. They love it. I enjoyed the reps I get by toting my stuff. I also have flats from Skinny Minis and Arknight. Skinny Minis. Okay, I have not heard of them. I will have to look them up. I really want to make some flat dungeon terrain that people can print and paste onto cereal box and have go to. You know what? Believe it or not, I do have the type of terrain that the type of dungeon tiles I made were uh, cardboard, just regular old cardboard from cardboard boxes, and I would take a piece that was equal to the other, and I would just glue them together and sit a book on top of them. And once that was done, I took like cereal box paper and cut little tiles out of them and just kind of glued those into place. And then I painted them, I dry brushed them, I tried to put in like little slime trails or whatever. They're really good. I have the kits from Army Painter for making dungeon tiles. They're great. I might have to look into that. System I'm making uses 5x5 grid that Mutants uses. Yeah, 5x5 grid is pretty good. I've got gosh, I don't even remember what my biggest tiles are, but I do know I had a couple long pieces of uh 2 by I think 10 hallways that stretch on for a little bit, and I created those. Oh, why, yes, I do. I do, as a matter of fact. Marcus isn't in here, but at least I don't see him in here. But he's asking me a question, and I'm about to send him a little file that I have because he asked me for it. So I'm going to go ahead and send that over to him. There you go, bud. Enjoy. So, those are the only two. Those two are the only ones to buy from. They're still having sales per flats. Eventually I want to get a 3D printer because I'll be honest with you. One Page Rules. Thank you again, Patty. One Page Rules has these vampire hordes that they're putting up. I think something's happened because they've kind of slowed down. They've slowed down a little bit. They're not offering quite as many minis per month as they did, and I know some of them were kind of missing from the first stack, but still they are very cool and would make for excellent minis for a Curse of Strahd campaign if you wanted to alter it just a little bit. So I wanted to use something close to UDT, but was a little less abstract. This is something. When I was young, we used impromptu objects such as miniatures, erasers, Monopoly figures, etc. We actually we cut some out of cardboard. We made little cardboard chits back in the day, but we used the Hero Quest minis when and where possible. OPR is sweet, no doubt. Those kits are marked down on a miniature market called Game Master by Army Painter, though they were more marked down before Christmas. Oh, okay. Darn. Oh, dude, I'm going to have to print a bunch of vamps for Mrs. Parlor. Yeah. Yeah. The terrain is also really cool. It's this really dark, gothic, kind of ruined, decayed terrain. It's so cool looking. I don't have a 3D printer, but I still sub because I'm just downloading all these STL files, and I'm going to wait. So once I'm back down south, then I'm going to get a 3D printer, and I'm going to go to town. You guys are probably not going to see me for a while. Stu, what's going on? Wow, 3 night shifts, man. I remember those days. Night shifts were a reality for me back when I worked in corrections. That was actually 8 years. 8 years of nothing but night shifts. So yeah. So say we all use coins, dice, etc. Yep. Are you moving closer to your mom? Me? Yeah, I would be. I would be moving much closer. As a matter of fact, I'd probably be moving back to my hometown. Those paints include in the Game Master kits are too. Cool. I don't know yet. I don't know. Kind of waiting on a couple things really. Number one, I'm actually paying some bills right now. So, like I said, y'all have seen my mail call kind of slow down a little bit. That's because I'm trying to hold on to more money than I'm spending. Also, waiting for my crypto to really start rising. I think this is probably going to be the year that happens. Hope so. And yeah, it's just you know, I'm also kind of like looking for a means of doing my ministry work because honestly, and I'll share a little something with you. Most of y'all know that at one point in time I worked in a pharmacy, and I did that for 3 years, and I should have quit after probably about the first year and a half. I probably should have quit. Um, the reason I stopped doing that work was because I have a moral and ethical objection to doing that. I really do. When I saw, like, at first I found the whole thing fascinating. Like, all these chemicals that we have, what are we? Yeah. As an aside, that is kind of funny. But right now, that's the reason I didn't get into ACKS too, because I was like, I have enough fantasy systems. I'm good. You know, unless it does something unique, which I'll be honest with you, I don't need the granularity. I just don't. I like to kind of do things on my own. That's why I love rules like systems like Swords and Wizardry because hey, no granularity. That means I can kind of make calls as I need to, and still fun. But anyway, yeah, I got out of the pharmacy work because I started seeing something, and this is what makes me so angry. Like I'm about to share a real moment of just that kind of thing with you, and that is that I'm gonna kick on my tea kettle again. I'll make another cup here. There we go. Hey, look. There we go. Okay, kick the power back on. But anyway, what made me super angry? Um, yeah, Ironcaster, you're exactly right. This is I have several editions of D&D. I've got Castles and Crusades, Old School Essential, Swords and Wizardry, Wasted Lands, uh, Osric, White Box, Basic Fantasy. How many more do I really need? Not many, if any at all. Um, but yeah, what made me super angry was I would see this, what I'm about to describe to you, and I'm like, God damn it. And one of the, like, I'm sure some of you, if you've seen me before, you know that I used to look, I was a lot heavier. In fact, I peaked at about 230 and 235 pounds. Didn't think anything of it until one night I had to have a serious discussion with myself. And what pissed me off more than anything was I made the conscious decision, and I talked to my pharmacist, who was my boss at my time, who's a friend of mine now. And I asked her, because she stayed really healthy and she's about my age. And I was like, how do you do it? Tell me. I'm all ears. And she told me some of the things that she does. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a try. So I changed the way I ate first. First thing I changed the way I snacked. Then I changed the way I ate. And if I had a bad meal, what I call a bad meal, like if I went to McDonald's or Burger King or some kind of fast food, I had to have at least one healthy meal to counter it. If I had two healthy meals, then I could have one goof off. So I started doing that, and the pounds just started coming off. Slow process, but it happened. Um, I've heard good things about Dragon Slayer, but again, I've got enough. I got enough. Shadow Dark. I'll tell you an interesting. I'm going to keep this up because I'm going to tell you an interesting story about this. Um, but anyway, I saw the pounds just coming off, and a lot of my problems that I was having, like I did snore quite a bit. That was, um, so far as I know, that wasn't a thing anymore. And then on top of that, I just started feeling better. Brain fog was lifted. Everything was really, really good. Started kind of feeling better, acting better. And look better. What did I change in my diet? That's a good question. I'll pull this up real quick. What I changed in my diet was how I snacked. So if you're snacking on chips and cookies and ice cream, stuff that really look. I'll be honest with you, Oreo cookies, they're vegan. They're not healthy. There's no dairy in the center cream there. They're vegan, but they're not healthy. In fact, I found out, there's people, if you go, once I found out I changed my diet, if you go vegan, then that'll just accelerate things. Your diet's not all that healthy either. You can look at sites that show you this mountain of food on a table and this woman with her arms spread like, look at this. And I can't believe it's vegan. And you look at it and you're like, Oreos, this, that, the third. Jesus Christ. Look, potato chips, they're plant-based. No shit. Don't believe everything you hear. So I just started you find vegetables that you really do enjoy. That's the first thing. Find vegetables that you're going to enjoy. And if you don't know which ones you'll enjoy, just kind of look it up. Something quick and easy. Baby carrots will work. Celery, cucumbers, cucumber slices with like some ranch dressing or maybe hummus. Hummus is really good. You find that kind of stuff, and I'll tell you this much right now. Once you start doing that, what you're going to notice is, hey, even fruits and vegetables, just something to snack on. It doesn't have to be anything serious. And then, what else? I did like grapes, blueberries, stuff like that. Like that's all I would pack for lunch is just that. So like some baby carrots and something to dip them in. Celery with peanut butter, blueberries, grapes, so on and so forth. I would just pack that and some water. And pretty soon you're like, you want more. You want more of that. Switch over to a salad instead of doing something crazy for lunch and make your own. See where you fit in. Just try different things until you find something that you really like. Stick with that for a while and kind of alter it a little bit. It takes time. Just like I said in the last reading, if you have not checked out the last reading after this live stream, go check out the reading because it tells you something. Everything is a process, right? And when the pound started to come off, when I started, first thing, I felt better. It's like lightning. You're going to see the flash before you hear the boom. I started to feel better. People started noticing. And then I'm looking at people coming and picking up, I'm not kidding you, thousands of dollars worth of insulin. They are, and let me put it to you this way. Some of them were sitting like this in these colossal pickup trucks. They are literally leaned back because they can't sit up comfortably, picking up thousands of dollars of insulin. And I'm not judging. I'm just saying this is what pissed me off. And you look in the seat next to them, and there's bags upon bags of McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's or whatever fast food there is. And whenever you see them, that's what you see. And I am prevented by going, you know what, bud? I see half your problem. I actually see half your problem. And you wouldn't have to spend this if you would just kind of give that up for a little while or cut back on that. This is the society we live in now. I would see that and it would piss me off. So basically what it comes down to is chemical intervention masked behind protecting someone's feelings. That kind of thing pissed me off. And then COVID hit and the mask came off. Doesn't matter how you feel. Matters what we tell you. You will be hooked on, Some of y'all out there will remember this. Some of you are old enough to remember this. Just say no to peer pressure and drugs. Today, we were peer pressured into drugs. This is not a position for someone who heals people. This is a subscription to live. We will ruin your health to the point where you now have to pay a subscription to continue breathing. I'd see people come in for 3 or 4 different inhalers. One's a rescue inhaler, one's a daily, one's this, one's that. And you'd see them light up. I don't care if you smoked in my drive-thru. It didn't bother me. But when I saw that, I'm like, yeah, I see half your problem. If you would just stop that, you probably would need less of this. You probably wouldn't even need this at all. And I have moral and ethical objections to that. I understand that you need to profit in order to have your research and development for new treatments for diseases, potential cures. I understand that. I support that. What I don't support, and you look, most pharmaceutical companies have shut down their R&D departments almost entirely. I know that too. And that's the part that upsets me. It enrages me. It just fucking infuriates me. And so as far as I'm concerned, the license to practice, the license to be a pharmacy technician is fucking worthless to me. And I'm putting that out there for the entire world to hear. I don't give a shit who knows. Honestly, between the 2 cards in my wallet, if I can't heal bodies, I'll heal fucking souls and minds. Because at least that way, it's not done for profit. And if you want evidence of that, tune into one of my fucking readings. And whatever I don't know, we'll find out together. But I'm never going to bullshit you. That much you'll get. On top of that, Universal Life Church, what I like about them is, yeah, they've had their little things here and there where they support certain things I don't. But they do make it clear that each minister does what they do. That they're not responsible for the things that I teach you. I'm sure they'll share in all the good stuff that I'd like to do. Because there is something I would like to do, but I'm not sharing it. Because not everything needs an audience. Just my opinion. Let me go back to this comment for just a minute. My go for Shadow Dark once enough reviews hit. I'm going to tell you right now, I do recommend Shadow Dark. It takes some of the better elements from 5th edition. And speaking of which, I'm going to say this. Mike Merles, I remember he was one of the ones let go in the Hasbro Wizard layoffs. And he was the one musing for a little while, hey, what if we combined the old school and, what if we united the old school and the new school? And everyone, even old school people, were kind of behind that. I know Bill on the Dungeon Delver channel talked about that. And then when it ultimately failed and did not come to fruition, he was like, oh, no. I didn't say it was going to be done. I said, what if? Fucking weasel. So anyway, that's just weasel shit to me. Not surprising that it comes from Wizards of the Coast. So, I think Kelsey Dion actually keeps the what if that Mike Merles put out there. If anything, if I had to pick someone to work on a new edition of D&D, Kelsey would be one of them. She takes some of the best elements of 5th edition and she combines it with some of the best elements of the old school. She does, as I put it, she keeps the promise Wizards of the Coast broke. Why was it up to her to do that? That wasn't her job, but she did it. And to that I say, Kelsey Dion. I know you just saw me fade out, but I did raise my cup of tea to you. Fresh cup. So, Now, here's the funny story to go along with that. I'm aware that there are people who create old school games, and uh, I'm aware that there are people who are 100% against anything new. And they should also be aware, I don't give a fuck what they think. Okay. And if they ever doubt, they should look at my library. I don't give a fuck. All right. I think I had some money set aside. I actually did stash a little away, and by a little I mean it was in the triple digits. I stashed some away. I was going to buy one creator's work. He had about like two or three things I really wanted to buy and check out. I already had them in PDF, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to get these in physical next. And I'm trying to work out where in my shelves I'm going to stick these things. When suddenly he goes full on at Kelsey. For what reason, I have no idea. But it was fucking idiotic. And I'll be honest with you, when it came to Shadow Dark, I was just kind of on the fence. I was like, yeah, do I need another fantasy system? Nah, I don't know, but it looks kind of cool. And I'm sitting there hemming and hawing until he did that. And I was like, there we go. And I fell off that fence hard. And I took all the money that I had saved up, all that money went to this right here. Every bit of the money I had saved up went right to that. So, good job, pundit. You know what? I'm enjoying this a little more. So, let's see. I'm going to start catching up here. Modern processed food is poison. No shit. A lot of us have been saying that, and it's evident. It really is. I know. I keep hearing people. How does a nation full of starving people have such an obesity rate? Look at the fucking food, or what passes for food. I did not get a chance to read that book yet. I haven't had a chance to do much of anything. It's been crazy. Just started intermittent fasting. A lot of my bad cravings have stopped. You know what, Georgia? I'll put it to you this way: these days, I try to find alternatives for my cravings. I really do. Believe it or not, these things right here, the Bare Naked Bites. I love the dark chocolate ones, dark chocolate and sea salt. I love these things. I could eat these all day. Everything seasoned cashews. I love those. Just nuts, berries, that sort of thing. I really do love. Hummus goes with everything. You're damn right. I listen to Russell Brand a lot. I try not to internalize the dread after he has Vandana Shiva or Kali on. I'll be honest, I really don't listen to him. Like, it's not that I'm not a fan. It's just I can take him in kind of small doses. And I remember when he was doing a lot of comedy, that's when I listened to him. When he started getting a little too serious, I was like, okay, I like to throw in a little comedy, a little levity into what I'm talking about at times, just to kind of soften things up a little bit. Real food rather than non-food items, I agree. I used to do service a kidney dialysis place. That's super depressing. I imagine it is. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I heard they were using that. Oh, the Ozempic. Yeah. Yes. That's the other problem. Same with HRT, anti-inflammatories, antibiotics, et cetera, et cetera. Yes. Yeah, and here, this is a big one. Refuse to do the work. Here's the there are people, I've seen this, and I tell people this all the time. Like, I'd love to lose weight, but I don't know how to do it without doing this, that, and the third. Well, you don't. Fact of life. You can't wave a magic wand at it and make it go away. Doesn't work like that. And it's crazy. It's nuts. I really wish more people would just trust that process. Look at me, 230 pounds ago. If you really want to see that, I'll show it to you. It's not pretty. See if I can find it. Pretty sure it's around here somewhere. I'm still digging, so don't worry about me. I'm just it's got to be close now. I'm pretty sure I just saw. And I'll say this: I've seen a lot of very overweight cops in my day. That's getting to be a concern. Man, that's no way to protect yourself. I can guarantee you that. Oh, there it is. All right, y'all, get ready to get grossed out because this was yep. You know what? No, you really don't. Idiotic. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Or yeah, you really don't want to. He lost his shit, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But I know what it is. He hasn't written anything of consequence in a long time. His star is fading, and he's relying on outrage farming. Uh, Corn syrup and everything. Yep. What's up, Josh? Good to see you here. Let's see. People say I'm just doing my job or allowing all laws to be broken otherwise. Yeah, and guess what? I took part in it as long as I could stomach it, and I could, and I went well past what I could stomach. I really did. COVID was the third strike for me. I'm gonna be honest with you. There are three strikes with me. When it's objective denial of objective reality, when it's not being able to tell people the truth because it might hurt their feelings. Like, motherfucker, that was second strike. And then third strike was, it doesn't matter what, it doesn't matter. Do what we say. Fuck you. And you know what? You got me that first time. You're not gonna do it again. I'll tell you that right now. I'm ready to take her fucking down. But get ready to get grossed out, because this is what I used to look like. And I did not feel good. I didn't look good. Here we go. Boom, baby. Yep. That was me. I looked gross. That's not just gross, it's disgusting. Overweight and undereducated, yeah. Societal breakdown, yep. Because corporations can do as they wish. Not for long. I'm gonna tell you this right now, not for long. But this is it. This was what I looked like. It was apathetic consumerism, yeah. Bingo. This right here. And hey, some were just literally just doing the job. Some people still are. Thank you. This, yeah, definitely a form of abuse. Gaslighting is definitely part of it. 260 to 190 when I stopped corn syrup and flour in my diet and activated my ECB system. Yes. Josh, we have talked extensively about that, and you know what? I need to have you on sometime to talk about that a little more, because I personally am a proponent for people to be free to use THC products as they wish. I don't know any violent potheads. I'm going to tell you something. This is another thing that infuriates me. A California law. California law says that you can't own a gun if you use THC products. What fucking sense does that make? So you can drink. I don't know how many. Let's do a little poll. Does anybody know any violent drunks? Anybody ever encountered a violent drunk? And after that, how many people encountered violent potheads? I've never met one. I've never met the first violent pothead. Prove me wrong. Change my mind. But anyway. Let's see. I'm used to seeing bigger gamers, so you appear small in that old pic. Yep. I do. You know what? Yes, there were people bigger than me, but I mean, god damn. Dude, I was two 230 to 235 was the biggest I'd ever been. And yeah, I mean, God, I look terrible. So thank goodness. I bring that up every once in a while. I'm glad that's sitting in that folder because I'll go looking for it and I'll bring it up. And I'll just kind of look at it and I'll be like, Jesus, what was I doing? What was I thinking? And I'll tell you what I was thinking. I was hating life because when I moved up here, I wasn't anywhere near that big. And I just kind of got lazy. And how many people can legally take Xanax and alcohol and be law enforcement? Yep. There we go. Yeah. That's I will say this. I did kind of chunk when I worked corrections. I corrected that for obvious reasons. But man, when I moved up here, I was I was good for a while, then not so much. I looked terrible. I felt terrible, and I was generally very negative. I didn't want to be anywhere. I didn't want to be seen. No shit. And I had a discussion with myself. I was like, man, you used to be a beast. What the fuck happened? That's a motherfucker. Nobody can handle it for you. Let's see. There is enough people that are violent because they do pot plus anything else. Big drug problems here, but there's meth and fentanyl too. Yep. When the very foods you eat are disconnecting you from your spirituality, the FDA has overstepped their bounds. That's very true. I keep saying this: government cannot solve the problem. Most of the problems in your life right now can be solved by you, but you have to take those steps. That's why I say, go check out the reading. When this is over, go check out the reading. It's going to be another 30 minutes or so. And check out those like the Root of the Week, Havamal series. Check those out as well because those have a lot of things that you can change. They're not, and here's the thing: start small, start where you can. Just look at what you can do easily. Do that first, then move on. I never really expected this. I was going to talk about like role-playing games and stuff like that. I never expected to get this heavy, but yeah, it's just advice I would give anyone. Oh, God, Josh, I really want to talk to you about this one. I'm not picking on you, by the way, but there have been some recent revelations about what government was spending money on. Nothing to do with roads, nothing to do with infrastructure, nothing to do with park maintenance. And about park maintenance, let's talk about that for a moment. Did you know that if you are in a national park and you see a bit of brush lit on fire, I'm talking to the tune of, say, this. You just see this little amount of flame and you put it out, you're going to federal prison. I'm not even joking with you. And the reason for that is because you are to leave those parks undisturbed. They allow nature to completely reclaim it. There's no slash and burn. There's no controlled fires, nothing like that, because they think it should be all natural. But the minute a spark hits a little piece of dry brush, it develops into the wildfires we see today. Yeah, okay. Clear enough. Okay. And you know what? I agree. That's what it should be, and that's what it's not. Government hasn't lost focus. They ignore it. Let's make that clear. They ignore what their focus should be. And now I'm hearing about these alien beings in Florida. I don't know. I'm not even going to try to make sense of that. I'm not. That just isn't for me to try to make sense of. I just heard about it last night at work. Uh, some of the guys were discussing it. Mm. Or ignored it. Same difference. Very same one. Oh shoot! Bye, Georgia. It's good to see you again. Great to have you here. But you know what? This is what. Yeah. Okay. So apparently, the police responded to an incident, as I understand it. Um, but apparently, some young people. They said it was to break up a fight in a mall, but apparently it was this 8 foot tall gray shadowy thing that people were shooting at. I was like, okay, if I see something shadowy, I'm not shooting at it. The bullets will pass through a shadow. Just saying. A little judicious use here. But yeah, it's there we go. Yeah. That's it. I think when you have bureaucrats running things, it's just going to get out of hand. That's it. Never shoot at shadows. That's correct. So good. So uh, I wouldn't go hunting. This comes hot on the heels of this whole Epstein list thing. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. If you see one that's just get footage of it. Shoot it with your camera. Okay. Yeah, Margaret, get back in the house. Where's ET? He's home. And definitely never shoot at shadows. But anyway, I really didn't expect the live stream to get this heavy or to run it solo. But run it solo, I shall. It's fine. I I made a commitment with myself. I was like, I need to do one, and so I got to apologize to everybody who views this channel, who subscribed and everything, and thank you for your continued support. Um, yeah, just things have been crazy lately, and the schedule is still a little wonky, so still might have some time, some weeks without a reading. I will try to get those done. As a matter of fact, I got to do a reading tomorrow. I got to do a personal reading tomorrow. Um, Shadows may have been a form of camouflage. Hey, we've all seen Predator. Um, Speaking of Predator, Epstein. Where's Joe? Come on, man. Uh, mm-hmm. Yep. Honestly, I don't think he is. Just gonna say that. I don't think he is. I really don't. I'd hop in with you for a moment. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, that's something else. If you haven't seen me on Twitter lately, it's because I have been gaming a little more. Even though the gaming is taking place in Second Life, I have some friends that set up a sim there. We've been trying to get something kind of stable for a little while, and so we've just kind of worked the instability into the story, and it's been a lot of fun. And I'm playing a drug addicted alcoholic space smuggler. Think Han Solo if played by Don Johnson from Harley Davidson and Marlboro Man without the charm. Yeah, yeah, definitely entitled to that opinion. Can't say I share it, but would I put it past them? Not really. You gotta remember, Ladies and gentlemen, these people in politics and social influence and stuff like that, they have dirt on each other. If one goes down, they're all going down. It's a house of cards. And guess what? One went down. It's all going to come down now. And with the corporations being able to do whatever the hell they want, I got to tell you this much right now. Not for long. Not for long. I think what you're going to see, the mask got torn off during these last 3 years, ladies and gentlemen. And I've been saying this. These companies have been stacking windfalls. They had no exit strategy because they honestly believed it would last forever. They didn't reinvest it back into the company. They just bonus. They hired more executives. These executives took bonuses that they stayed long enough to collect that bonus, and then they split. And now everybody at the bottom rung is on the hook for it. So double-sided keeping of law has been the reason so many groups have resorted back to tribal law keeping. I can agree with that. There was a Fox broadcaster just the other day I started on Twitter, said something about hearing from Epstein himself later this year. Shared it. All cameras are off, guards now. Hey, guess what? You know what? I do have some unique insight on that, and I agree. All those cameras just suddenly malfunctioned? I don't think so. I really don't. He wasn't in that cell alone either. Something's fishy about that whole. Something's fucky. As the Trailer Park Boys would say, something's fucky. And guess what? I think they've already kind of covered it. Because it was revealed that some of them were asleep on the job. Yep, that'll get you fired. Aliens abducted Epstein because they're into adults. Wouldn't it be just that much more poetic if we found out that, yes, he was alive, yes, he's been abducted, and he got all the anal probes? Wouldn't that be just that bit ironic? Because I would absolutely enjoy it. I'd be like, yes. I would get such a kick out of that. But, I shouldn't be into that much Schadenfreude, but I am. And, oh, man. Wizards of the Coast is, the Magic the Gathering and D&D teams have been gutted. I think all the projects have been finished. I do echo that sentiment. I wonder if Kyle Brink was one of the ones that got let go. Anybody heard whether or not he was one of the ones that got let go? How many sensitivity readers did they fire? That's really what I want to know. How many of them? Did they let any of those go? I can tell you this much. I found out Facebook and Meta let go a lot of their DIE initiative hires. Their diversity, inclusivity, and equity hires. That's what happened to their positions. They died. We said they would be the first to go. They are. Google canned 30,000. How many of those were DEI initiative type jobs? How many of those did they ixnay? There were 5 things that had to happen in order for him to kill himself. Rookie was in only had a 7-foot ceiling. He had to jump with his legs curled up. Oh, no. Hanging yourself in a cell with low ceilings is entirely possible. I will put it to you this way. I'd hate to get into a tutorial here. I won't. But I will say this. It's easy. It's really, really easy. And you don't have to have the fall. We'll talk about that later. All 30,000 were hired under DEI. I'll bet. Kyle is still there. Darn. Okay. All right. Gotta get back to the grind. Later the range. Yes, definitely. Gotta hang out. I would love to hang out sometime. All 30,000. I mean, come on. Excuse me. It's not surprising in the least. It's not surprising that those positions are going. Uh, People, if you viewed my channel, including all the oracular readings and stuff that I do, how long have I been saying that the illusion is crumbling? How long have I been hammering that point? I've been hammering that point since I was a member of the Troth, and they did not like that. They did not like that I called it an illusion. They did not like that I sat there and told them all these establishments of power were going away. I don't know what scrying bowl or crystal ball that Venger's looking at. But he seems to, I've heard it through the grapevine, he seems to think this will all peter out, this whole woke movement, all this will peter out by 2025. I think he's correct. Every indication points that it is correct. Unfortunately, and I'm going to caution you with this, just as your weight loss is a process, just as your you're learning something new is a process, just as getting yourself into a new healthier habit is a process, just as living consciously is a process and requires patience on your part, so does this. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you right now, stop getting into a hurry in the checkout line. It's not going, nothing's going to speed up because of you. It's just not going to happen. But we have that. Trump forever. American Empire. I'd say we've engaged in enough imperialism. Symptom of the Republic's collapse. I think that's more of a symbol of imperial collapse, to be honest. Got to shovel the driveway, get some groceries, get some gaming in. Yep. All right. Try not to kill try not to kill their characters. Hey, you know what, Patty? What are you playing with them? What are you playing with them right now? Love to know. Playing some mutants with them, or what's going on? It will linger with Splinter Cells for some time. Yeah, it will. It will, but it'll largely be defeated. I think our best bet, once that's gone, once it's over, just continue to laugh at it. Be like, we saw how you handled that, how you handled like 10 years of that. And you know why it's failing? I'll tell you exactly why it's failing. Here's where you have the edge. That reading that hopefully you'll go watch after this. It's failing because they forgot to understand it's a process. They got way ahead of themselves. They lost all patience. They couldn't understand a setback. Couldn't roll with that punch for just a little bit. They ramped it all up. They tore the mask off because they just had to have it. Good luck. But it's like I've said this for the 3 Gamma World. Oh, here we go. We're going to run through adventures from the 3 Gamma World 7th books and try and play some Dystopian Dawn when we get through that. Oh, Dystopian Dawn. Yes. I do recommend Dystopian Dawn. You know what? Does Wizards of the Coast even sell the Gamma World books now? I don't know if they do or not. I'm not concerned with it because I got Dystopian Dawn now. I still have Mutant Crawl Classics. I will still play what I have. I just won't recommend anyone buy it. As a matter of fact, for my players, I'll just give them a copy of my PDF. I don't mind. Is tarot not possible without actual cards? Kind of defeats the purpose of giving a tarot reading without the cards, right? The cards really do put things into context. They do give you a much clearer image. You can do oracular readings without doing tarot. I utilize runes all the time without tarot cards. I utilize oracle cards all the time without tarot cards. I like to put them all together to get a much sharper picture. And of course, combined with my own little analysis of trends, that's how I do it. I don't like the idea of America becoming an empire during my lifetime. I don't either. There are several signs that the divide's coming, and another great American uniting after that. The government planned it. Mm-hmm. Problem is that unity is going to be very fake, I think. I've had 3 books since they came out, but you guys have a great Saturday, everyone. Hey, very, very good interview with Venger, by the way. I'm still trying to get him on the show. Still trying to get him on this show. If I could, that would be awesome. But anyway, that's just me. And by the way, that's another thing I'd like to talk to you about is since we've got about 20 minutes left, and I'd love to bring this up. Let me just go to the Kickstarter here. I don't see it there. How about all right, we're just going to go to Kickstarter and I'll find it from there. Log in, of course. Yeah. Log me in. Get me in here. All right. So there it is. Chalt Experience. Designing worlds like a fucking boss. Get rid of that. Guess what? It's almost a goal. We got 2 weeks to go. And guess what? This is not that far from goal. It is $40 from goal. $40. But let me tell you something. One person doing this, the Chalt hardcover trilogy, $111. You get the Chalt Experience PDF plus the entire signed and numbered Chalt hardcover trilogy hardcovers that also come with PDFs. You got the Chalt Experience PDF, which is $20. Signed limited edition hardcover Chalt, so you get the and that's $50. So you get the first book of the trilogy, and it comes with a PDF. Plus, you get PDF of the Chalt Experience, and then there's that $111 tier. Not many tiers, but again, well, I'm an idiot. I need to share this. Okay, let me put it up there. Share the screen. Show everybody. Here we go. Share that. Here you go. Right here. Look at that. That is nearly the goal. And on top of that, there is a stretch goal of 20 grand. We get more pages of Venger's experience, and he shares a lot. I do recommend this, especially if you're a Chalt fan. I do love this picture. It's so good. Flooded again. I mean, just there we go. Really cool stuff. I think, if nothing else, you're going to absolutely love Chalt if you like it a little strange, if you like it a little different. And $111 for all 3 plus PDFs of everything is not a bad deal. Let's see. Their idea is globalism, but America is delusional if we think we're going to make the rules for it. Mm-hmm. True. What's up, Z? Hails to you. Have to run a store for about 20. If you're still want to get back, I'll jump in the stream with you. If you know what, I'm probably going to be leaving in about 15. I do have some things to do today, and I'm going to be cooking tonight. I want to get a little gaming in myself. So, yeah, I probably won't be here when you get back, but go out there, be safe. Try not to get in any trouble. Try not to run into any. If you get aliens, shoot them with your camera. We want pictures. Speaking of aliens, Chalt is an alien world in a state of post-apocalypse. And I think this is one. Why do I recommend this? Because it's so weird. And these books, they are massive, massive books, but they're also high quality. Much of it is settings and lore. Crimson Dragon Slayer D20, which is available on Big Geek Emporium, absolutely free, in updated PDF. That is the entire rule set. It's like maybe 17 pages of rules. You can't go wrong. I recommend it. Get on it. I think you'll really enjoy it. So, Avenger, definitely giving the shameless plug to your work, sir. I hope it reaches goal by the end of the day today. So, guys, if you're not going to pledge, then you know what to do. Share this out. Someone else is going to pledge to it, and I think this should at least goal or better, in my opinion. And I like it weird. I really do. Like, I know I harp a lot on weirdos out there, but when it's done right, I like it weird. Now, if you're just doing weird, do weird, you know. Like, I will put it to this way. I do have World of the Last Sun. I read it, and I was just kind of like, I don't think Pundit got I don't think he got what Gonzo was all about. He missed the mark because he was a little too on the nose. That's where I landed on it. Some of it was kind of, amusing, but that was about it. So it's up to you, though. Personally, I recommend Chalt over this. It just makes more sense. And there was one more thing. I'll kind of cap on this note. I really do want to bring this up because this was worth talking about. Old Demon Faye Shay, I remember, just got blocked by her. Let's see, Orb Scepter. Oh, that's fine. Okay. There was something I wanted to bring up because it happened. It occurred in the last couple of weeks. In fact, I think I just downloaded. I think I did download that one. So I'll just bring up the download. I think. If I can find it. No, I didn't. Okay, I didn't download it to here, but no, it downloaded it, and she blocked me because I said, it is the. It's not the 19th century; it's the 21st. We don't use gaslight anymore, and she is gaslighting like crazy. But there's been this this little fork in the road. She was trying to do the whole which way, and she can't meme. But I did want to bring this up because here we go. Here we go. This is the one. I think some people are starting to miss the point of a lot of my posts, so I do want to bring this one out and show it. We'll do the last 10 minutes on this. And notice how it's left or right. I said choose the left road if you want, but look at how you're labeled. You will always be labeled. And if I'm just going to be labeled, share the middle fingers as I go toward what some would consider the darker path. This is the point of an ultimatum. This isn't. Understand, this image is not a choice. It's an ultimatum. Obsessive nostalgia for a time and place that never existed, then why do you want to keep saying it was racist? If it never existed, then it wasn't racist. That drives you to protect the purity of things that don't matter, then why do you want to change it? At the expense of anyone who isn't you, then why do you want to change it? Instead of dealing with your problems, then why do you want to change it? Cishet white men. Found the racist. That was from Demon Fay Shay, believe it or not. I just snagged it from her just in case she blocked me. And no kidding, later on she did. I'm good with it. Trash took itself out. But if the time and place never existed, then obviously you're engaging in revisionist history. If it doesn't matter, then you shouldn't want to change it. And if you don't like it, then you can leave. That's my entire outlook on it. Basic human decency. No, it means never questioning you. I lived through the Satanic Panic, a time that did exist. I didn't protect the purity. I protected and suffered for its existence, lady. You never did. You were never oppressed, and you never will be. You will never know it until your own turn against you. That's what's going to happen eventually. Yeah. Basic human decency. Do not question me. I've seen this movie before. The ending sucks. Don't let these people gaslight you. Tell them go to hell. Tell them fuck off. That's about all they deserve, in my opinion. And now that she's blocked me, well, whatever. I know some people like say, "Oh, I'll pray for you." All I can do is hope. All I can do is hope that she finds hope she finds out before she fucks around too much. Because I'll guarantee you this much. She's going to find out how expendable she is after all the fighting for them. They, them, they, them, they're those that she did. She's going to find that out. You were always expendable. You were only ever an ally. And allies are disposable. So I hope she finds out before that happens. Hope she figures it out. But just remember, some of the people that you turned away along the way, that was a one-time thing. And guess what? That's going to be an awkward conversation to have. I'll guarantee you that. And that's exactly what she's going to meet. When this whole thing peters out, this is exactly what's going to happen. People will be laughing. And there will be some people going, how did we ever buy into that? I'll tell you exactly how. We were a little too tolerant for our own good. There has to be a reasonable end to it. My reasonable end is I'm always looking for players. I don't care what you do in the bedroom. I don't care what your color is. I don't care where you come from. Can you communicate? Can you roll dice? Can you do a little basic math? That's it. That's all that's really required. Okay, can you play and have fun and not be a total fucking dickhead like that one? That's it. That's all I require. If you're there to game, so am I. If you're there to be an annoying pest, make it all about you, you're not going to last very long if you make it to the table. Had that before and won't have it again. That's for sure. But anyway. It's been a fun stream. Even though I carried the entire 2 hours by myself, it's still been fun. I'm so happy that this one is the first one on the books for 2024. Many more to come. As a matter of fact, our next one will be on the 20th. So the 20th of this month, we will have another one, and I hope to see you there. I'm going to close out just a couple minutes early. That way I can go ahead and get ready and get out the door. But just remember, whether you're tuning in for my oracular readings or you're tuning in for tabletop role-playing games, comics, and other things, just want to say this. I love you all. Thank you for your subscriptions. Thank you for your comments, your shares, your subscribes, all that stuff. It means a lot to me. Take care of yourselves and each other. Remember that pic I showed you? It was gross. It was disgusting. I'm doing it because I want to be around a little longer. I want to game with you a little longer. I want to talk with you a little longer. I want to do more readings for you. I've got I've got a niece that I met this past year who was awesome. I want to be around for her. It's just kind of how I am. If the process seems to be taking too long, just remember, think about the things that matter. Think about the reasons why you're doing it and stick to that. Do what you can. Don't worry about what you can't do today. Don't worry about what you can't handle. Can't lift heavy, lift light. Lift light, lift a lot. If you can't go for that run, go for that walk. If you can't go for that walk, instead of walking or driving down to the shops, walk to them. You can go for that walk. If it's just raining outside, well then, take a few minutes and do some squats or something like that. Doesn't matter. Just do what you can. Eat a little healthier that day. Eat a little healthier today. Just take care of yourselves and each other. That means being honest with people too. Always do and play what lights you up, and as always, my friends, love you. Play on.